Record contract advice. My name is Johnny Deep. I'm signed to 20 plus labels. I have my own labels as well. This advice is geared, I guess, more towards electronic music and signing that, but maybe others might find this helpful too. I get it. As a newbie, it's so exciting to get a reply from a label and they want your music. And I know in the early days, I just signed away. I didn't even really read the contract. I was so excited to see myself in the store, so to speak. But a little older, a little wiser now. Now, in terms of the contract, I want to discuss a few things. Now, the first thing would be the length of the contract. I personally do not sign forever contracts. Now, some contracts will specify forever, but if they don't put a clause or a time frame within the contract, that's the same as forever. And what I do, generally 10 years and over, I seek a fee. It's almost like selling the track, so to speak. That is what I aim for and try to negotiate to. There's been one label I signed to a while back, and it was a 5-page contract, very detailed, and I signed it. And the reason I signed it, I gave a lot of my rights away, but they gave me $250 per track, so I felt like I had sold the track. There was no waiting for the sales, it was direct, it was done. And I've set that as the standard, so to speak, for forever contracts. Forever contracts, they may be out there, they are out there, but I disagree with them unless, of course, show me the money, basically. For the deep house labels that I sign to, 3 years is what I aim at. I sometimes extend to 5 years. It kind of depends on the situation. The other thing I want to talk about is percentage. I go for 50-50 as a percentage. I recently was dealing with the label and they sent the contract and it was 75% to them, 25% to me. It's unacceptable to me. Obviously, you can choose for yourself. The other thing with this contract, this leads me to the point of recoupment. And what recoupment means is they will first take the costs and sort of charge you, so to speak, until those costs are recovered. And then you will get that share, whatever that share is, 50-50, hopefully. Now, the contracts I've seen with recoupment, none of them specify what they are paying for. Now, what that means is when you sign that contract, they can make up whatever prices, charges, costs they want, and you could never, ever see that money. So just beware with the recoupment side of things. What else do we have? The threshold. Now, this is an important one. It's quite common for labels to want €100 threshold, sometimes 150 euro threshold. Now, we're talking small to mid-term labels, and I'm not a big artist yet. But basically, even €100 threshold, from experience, that would mean at the lower to mid level, around about 7 releases, possibly 5 if a couple of them get very high up in the hype chart on Beatport. Now, the thing with that, if you're just joining the label, what if things don't work out? If things don't work out, I have probably about €250 all tied up with labels with these high thresholds, which either it hasn't proved to be a good fit, or maybe musically my direction has changed, and because of this threshold, the money's sitting there. I don't see a cent of it. So what I've done more recently is, I negotiated a reduction to €30. I do like the label, but I was quite honest. I said, look, it's early days. We need to see how we fit over time. Therefore, for safety, I'd like to lower the threshold. And I also let them know that I've got money tied up that I'll never see with other labels. I know it sounds a bit mad because €100 is not a lot of money. But I think what it comes down to for me is that if I feel exploited, it affects my mind, it affects my heart, and then it affects my creativity, and it also starts to dampen how I feel about music, and music is my life. So these things are very important. And I guess the other part of this is negotiating. I have a little bit of ability to negotiate. At the beginning, it's very hard because we don't really have any negotiating power. But what you can do is try to just be a little bit more cautious and try not to rush into things. In terms of the actual forever contracts, because some people are like, well, I don't mind if they have it forever, and that's fine as well. But for me, there's been labels that things have worked well, but there's been labels where it hasn't worked well. And in a sense, that track's not mine forever. And there has been instance where things have really not worked out with the label, and I've been able to request a takedown of my music. And having my own labels has allowed me to re-release those particular tracks. And also it just frees me up because I have all the rights to put it on SoundCloud. Recently I teamed up with a network on SoundCloud, and I offered the track for free as a partnership with them. It allowed me to do that. So this is my take on labels. At the beginning, as I said, I just rushed to sign. I didn't look. But what was interesting last year was I wanted to go bigger, get more exposure, and it was almost like the Predators were waiting, because some of these labels that are very visible really do not offer good contracts. And I even questioned, like, why is this forever? But I was caught between wanting to have more exposure and not liking the contract. And later on, I regretted signing those contracts. So anyway, I hope this helps, and keep it rocking.